Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are in our third mission for Apocalypse Keys. And this is our one of the set mysteries from the book called The Missing Link. And we set that up last time to get the characters in. We have one player, Weeper, who unfortunately had to open door because of work conflicts. So we brought in a new player that we're going to integrate today. And then unfortunately, Puckett is having some pain issues. And so he asked to open door. And I hope that he is feeling better. I know that he has to deal with that a lot. And I'm always impressed that he makes it through. So we are going to do that. I will talk about where we are in the mission after we've spent some time getting characters set up and introduced. Just as a reminder, we are using the green light, yellow light, red light for our kind of lines and veils there on the safety tab. A reminder that our red lights are graphic depictions of blunt force head trauma, sexual assault, harm to children, torture by the PCs, misogyny, and domestic violence. Those are all things that are off the table. And if you have to add anything to add to that, feel
I've
free.
already added mine.
Oh, good, awesome. So we're all good. So those things are there as our lines. We have our dice room there is listed on the safety tab. So I always forget to pull it up, and I'm actually trying to make sure I do that this time. So what I want to do is have our existing characters give us the elevator pitch on who they are and sort of where they are now with their characters at this point. So, Alan, go tell us again. Remind us who Surreal is.
Sorry, Surreal Gath. I do
Sorry.
insist on appropriate naming.
Okay.
We gods, nonetheless fallen, insist on a degree of formality, particularly with those beneath us, which means a lot of people. I should be very, very, very powerful. Unfortunately, I'm having to fill in work for division. And don't get me wrong, the work it's good work, it's useful work. But I wouldn't want anyone to be confused in thinking that this is really me. I have a nemesis. My nemesis is called Gazamak. Gazamak used to be my high priest, but he betrayed me and now haunts my life. But I am particularly angry with Gazamak at the moment because he killed a mortal that I had become attached to. And he didn't do it for any value. He didn't do it for tactics. He did it just to be nasty to me. And so I'm going to get him. And I'm going to do all I can to get Division to focus all their attention on him. And in parentheses, while they're busy looking for Gazamak, I intend to complete my journey to Godhead. I have a move called, where's it gone? All the way down the bottom of my sheet, which is called I Will Rise Again. And I have a number of steps to take. And so far, made decent progress, plenty to go. But I strongly expect to be a fully formed god with all my powers returned very soon.
Very soon. All right.
In the meantime, I TikTok, Facebook. I'm an influencer for Division.
Awesome. You don't have any conditions marked. What do you want?
I've got a grip on this one.
Okay. What do you want as your start of session XP question there?
Yes. I think I'm looking for one I haven't used yet. I'll go back to did you bless the weak with your immeasurable glory, with the immeasurable glory of your presence?
Okay, that seems reasonable. That next brings us to Andish. Andish, to remind us about Egther.
Yeah,
Egther is the last of the giants, or so he believes. The giants ruled the earth before humanity. They had created great wonders and performed mighty deeds, but gradually they fell because they were manipulated by into becoming harbingers. And screwed everything up, basically. So Egther is, as he believes, the last of the giants. This may or may not actually be true. And the giants, I've pulled a lot from Norse mythology there, so there's a lot of Norse stuff in it. He has some power over time. The giants don't have the same relationship with linear time as mortals do. Yeah, he can lay the smackdown on things when he wants to. I see, Tad, that you're playing the summoned, and I've pulled a couple of moves from the summoned playbook when I've advanced, because that one wasn't in play. I hope that's not going to be a conflict. It's not. I don't think you were starting with any of those moves. Yeah. He currently.
I'm starting with the summoning move.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm starting with the summoning move, so.
Yeah, I'd grab the come on tough guy move and the humanity was a dream ruin move.
Yeah, no problem here.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. I don't think I'll be pulling any more moves, so it shouldn't be a problem if those are okay. Yeah, Egther is working with division because he has come to believe that humanity is worth protecting, though he's kind of wavering on that a bit. Maybe he'll just try to destroy humanity in order to get his people back. That could also be an option. So, we'll see. He's lost a hand, and he temporarily had a ghostly glamour hand that Cyril made for him, but that's gone too. Yeah, I think I'll stop there.
Yeah. You have cornered marked. So you have one condition marked right now. I think that kind of rolled out of your discovery of some facts that in fact you might not be the last of the giants. What do you want as your start of session XP question?
I'm going to take, did you share a story of your people and what you lost?
Yeah. That sounds good. All right. Let us come to our new character, our summoned. So tell us who they are, and kind of we'll start walk through some of those questions on the first column, and give us a story.
Yeah, so Aisling is a nightmare, literally. She was summoned to Earth during, one of those medical experiments about where they were trying to solve parasomnia, which is a sleep disorder that also concerns that can also manifest by person just having so many nightmares that they can't get a proper sleep. And it wasn't like the nice kind of medical trial. It was more one of those that ends up with someone's medical license getting revoked. And during in one moment, just a girl like 5 years old was just found walking the halls of that hospital, and that was her. Turned out she used to be the nightmare of just getting chased and stalked by unknown person or force, usually through the woods. It's more common form, but she can do cities we can do anything, whatever your mind desires. And somehow she found herself on Earth. First, she was adopted by Mr. Orion, who was a janitor in the hospital. But later it kind of turned out that she's not great to keep around, other people, your own kids and stuff like that. She left some, mental scars on her adopted siblings, and in the end, it was just decided that it would be better to put her in the orphanage run by Division, where she grew up until recently, when she finally graduated from the orphanage to be a field agent. As of her powers, as a good nightmare, obviously, I do have emotional amplification. I can make people more scared or more nervous. Usually it's negative emotions,
Mhm.
fear, paranoia, anger, and control of shadows, which again is like you're being hunted, you see the weird shadows around you, things are getting weird. And what else? And also Aislinn is somehow a gate, an opening from the nightmare realm or dream realm to the reality, which has some good things in it. So she can summon other nightmares to help her at the moment, or it has some bad part, that she's supposed to unleash the apocalypse when the entire boundary between the reality and the dreams and nightmares will just completely fall apart. So, and everything will be pen one, and trust me, the dreams where you are just frolicking with a bunch of bunnies will not be the ones who are in charge. That's what people nice dreams are, I assume.
So tell us about the darkness is calling to you. It's pushing you forward. What are the demands that it is making of you?
Okay. Well, that's the one part that I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure about the first one. The yearn for love that can never be mine, which is just rejection from Orion family that I just really want to be accepted by, in contact with. I understand that I did some not nice things, but I have changed, and they just don't want to have anything to do with me now, and I would really love to change it, but they they always hang up when I call them, and I don't think they read my letters or emails, or block me on all social media. Well, they do that, yeah. So and the other one I'm not entirely sure what to pick.
Yeah.
I just picked the fall in love with Harbinger of the Apocalypse, but because I wasn't entirely sure what else to pick. Maybe the betrayal is the other option that makes sense, because
So hang on to that one. You can decide if
yeah.
when the situation's appropriate, whether if you want to lean into one over the other. There's another question there about what is the prophecy that haunts you? So what is that? There's something that's said.
I put something like the Aethelink will open the gate that will just destroy the boundary between the dream and reality. That
I
was
see.
that
That's
was
what
the
you're saying there.
prophecy.
Okay. Do you imagine that that's something that you just instinctively know, or was that prophecy given to you, or have you heard it down from the nightmare realm? Like how have you heard that prophecy?
Yeah, I think that, yes, I think that every time well, a lot of times when I summon one of the nightmares, and those nightmares that can even like talk to you, they are talking about like me being their herald and me being the one who will do that.
Nice.
They all think that they all think that. That's why they serve me.
I
Or
like that. Yeah,
mostly.
that seems perfect. So we've got Lissa kind of on the table, and she's the third character, but I do want to give you a chance to look at those starting bonds.
Yeah.
Do either of those first two bond questions there you think work for maybe connection to Egther or Suriel? And love here
Well,
can be affection or friendship or connection.
Yeah. The first thing is how long, like I assume that both of you have been with Division longer than 10 years.
Very long time.
Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah, well.
So maybe
I don't know I don't know if any of you want to be the one that loves me. I mean, I'm open to it. And then I guess the other one can be the one who was there when I was summoned.
that could be
Investigating the, weird dream research / summoning of a dream monster X incident.
I'd be very happy to have done some time at the orphanage, if that is helpful.
Yes.
So do you think that it's, why can't you tell me, like why can't you say to Aisling that you have more than your normal feelings of apathy about another person?
Or is that aimed at me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, Suriel. Yeah.
So I thought I was opting into I was there when you were discovered.
Oh, okay. Okay. So at the medical facility then.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was at the orphanage. I beg your pardon. Right, yeah.
No. And the hospital where they conducted the weird sleep experiments. That's where I was discovered by the Division.
Yeah, because I think that Division might well have been worried about what was going on at that. Maybe it was rogue research from within Division. Maybe it was a potential Harbinger breach that turned out not to be. In fact, there was just this kid.
Yeah.
So gain a bond. And because you're coming in late, I'm going to have you write in 2 bonds with Suriel. But Suriel, why are you afraid of Aisling?
Because I tell lies for a living. And the idea that reality would break down, because I'm the person who messes with reality, right? I'm the one who makes things appear different. I'm either through words or by casting glamours. And so this idea that someone could break down the boundaries between dream, nightmare, and reality, that could really undercut my plans. Because, unlike these other people who want to destroy the world, I simply want to be worshipped by it. And so, this endless fascination with destroying the world, it's just tiresome. And dangerous.
Seems fair. The world is where you keep all your things. So
yeah, I don't really personally want to do that, and be like, the world wouldn't be destroyed. It would be just very, very different.
Yeah, exactly so. Whereas, my world will simply be a very large social media sphere.
Yeah, like,
in fact,
don't put
some people say I'm already there.
Yeah, don't put me in the in the same box as those people who want to destroy the world. We'll just, change it so you wouldn't understand it or recognize it, but it will still be here.
Okay.
Please,
Okay.
please.
Yeah,
Some-
of course, Aileen. Of
Important
course.
distinctions.
Egther, do you think you want to take that other bond, or do you want to pocket that and see when Lissa comes back? What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think since I already have kind of a romantic thing with Lissa, and I don't quite see Egther having some like affection for a summoned nightmare creature. Like I don't see a natural connection.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be romantic. I'm certainly thinking that since you guys are, like 100 like several hundred years older than me, it could be more like, I don't know, parental figure, cool uncle
Yeah.
or mentor. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
want something like that, like a certain amount of protectiveness based on something?
It doesn't feel natural to
Okay.
me, and I don't want to like force it.
Well,
course,
what we'll
course.
do is we'll check in with Lissa next time and see if Lissa has some ideas on that. And if not, we'll take a look at some of the other starting bond questions on the other playbooks and work something around that.
I mean, I have some sympathy for Egther. I mean, Egther's emotional life is complex enough.
It is.
No pressure. I was just like,
Yeah.
making
Cool.
suggestions.
I like it. If we had been going, if this had been like at the very start of the series, it could very well have worked. But it's kind of, it gets a bit complicated right now.
Now, Iceland, you also took the did you take that orphan visit division?
Yes, I
list?
did, of course.
Okay, so it asks you to answer at least one of those questions about the orphanage.
Yes.
So what would you like to answer?
Yes, so there is a young monster that I am most attached to. His name is some name that's not used for any NPC. I don't know. Alejandro.
Okay.
And he is oh yeah, he's in a sense similar to me because he has a potential to, completely destroy the world
Okay.
if he starts manifesting the powers of his bloodline. And like my high hopes for him is that he never does.
Okay.
That he just gets to stay a normal person.
Do you think is he about your age or younger? Or
I think
older?
younger. It's like my younger brother, like adopted younger brother.
Do you think that Alejandro wants to be an active division agent like you are, or is scared of it, or something else?
Yeah, I think he wants to be an active division agent. I think that everybody in the orphanage kind of, that's what they tell you you should want to be. So that's what I assume we are kind of raised to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I for him because him becoming active division agent would mean that he would actually manifest his powers, which seem to be something. That seems to be just growing into something. Very painful process of growing into something very non-human and gross and eldritch almost.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't want him to do that.
I like it. So
yeah, he's like a half weird eldritch being, half human child.
Okay.
So we don't know what happens here.
Like not the Dunwich Horror. One of the Lovecraft stories. Anyway, let's start. I want to first I'll we'll do some logistics. So we're gonna kind of retcon from last time. And Weeper, who kind of arrived crosswise. We just we're going to kind of retcon, roll back that Weeper wasn't with you when you arrived originally, Suriel and Egther. But I think that Suriel, you would have gotten a communication that they are sending another team member to replace Egther. They've chosen someone who, given the circumstances of your present mission, may be better able to interact with the people you're going to have to interact with. And I think you would get that briefing sent down to your phone that they are sending Aisling over to you. Now, let me talk about the mission briefing again, where we're at and what we kind of know, and then I will bring Aisling on scene. We'll have some interaction before we hit the alarm. So once again, you are
just as a heads up, Tad, you might want to be looking at the mystery map page where we've got some notes beginning to be taken, just as Lowell is describing.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. So you were all sent to Island 0, which is a huge jungle and forest and vegetation covered island that has a massive rift in the middle of it. And out of the rift comes a variety of what they're calling rift class monsters. This happened about the year 2000. And there are monsters that come out that fight against those rift class monsters. They are called Halamaws. And it was discovered shortly after the rift opened and after the destruction wrought by the first of these kaiju, that young people, pre-adults, could mentally bond with these Halamaws and serve as pilots, increasing the Halamaws' abilities and allowing them to fight in a controlled way against these rift class monsters. And this has continued for the last 2 decades. Island 0 is protected by a vast array of occult and technological shields to keep it off the grid and to contain the forces that are here. And at the base here, they have a number of pilots. Pilots are changed by their interactions, by their connections psychically to these Halamaw. It can have devastating consequences, or they might not be affected at all. Eventually, pilots age out where they can no longer connect to the monsters. And often when that happens, they will be further changed by the experience. There are right now a set of pilots that are active, that are on there, and 4 of them, or sorry, 3 of them, plus the missing pilot. And here is the deal, is that a little while ago at this base, this pilot Luna, who is connected to a Halamaw, let me get to the names here again, Hydra Omicron, a unique Halamaw, a unique monster. She was getting ready to launch out for a minor incursion, a minor breach from the rift, but she suddenly stopped in the middle of the launch phase. And let me get the exact details of this. Yeah, 1 second, sorry. In the middle of the launch sequence, she stopped. She let out a statement: the apocalypse comes, together we will remake this broken world. And the video, the connectors, the scanners went off, and they lost track of her and her Halamaw. They were able to view the video of this and see that there were signs on Luna that she was possessed. What kind of possession? It's uncertain. A detail was also noticed that it looked like there were changes going on, some sort of shift of some kind happening physically to the Halamaw itself at that same point. And that is the first of the keys that we have about Hydra Omicron. The NPCs right now are that you've met are Fletcher Payne, who is a former pilot whose Halamaw died, but is now the still beating heart of this facility, powering it. You met the three pilots, Malika, Asterio, and Catalina. And you know that there are some other people, an ops director, scientists, and you know there's at least Luna's sister is not a pilot, but is a person maintaining the spiritual shields around the facility. But that's about as far as we got. Kind of arrival, that very start briefing, some interactions there. Lissa talked with Malika briefly, and there was a little bit of investigation. But what I want to do is, at the end of that scene, we had an alarm go off with an incursion, but we're going to put that off to the side for the moment. And imagine that, Aisling, you have been on this big cargo ship, division ship vessel by yourself. No other division team people. The crew is all division, but they sent you kind of in alone. And then they loaded you on to an aircraft after several days of travel through multiple stops and check-ins, and checking your blood signs and doing like magical checks on you and stuff. It put you on this air vehicle and flew you out to this island. You would have seen the vegetation completely overgrown, just the narrowest strip of beach there along the edge of it, and a kind of perpetual sort of storm cloud overhead, and a little bit of a glow from the rift that's at the heart of the island. You would have come in a little bit different direction than Suriel and Egther. And I think as you were flying over, you will see on the eastern edge of the island, there's an area where there is no vegetation, but you will see that it is a horrible, rotting mass. It is corpses of these dead rift monsters. You can see that there are piles of them there. There are teams working. You see they're spraying things down, trying to increase the rate of decay on these things. But it is essentially the rift graveyard that is off there to the east. You flow over that. Even in the insulated vehicle, some of the smell of it would have come in here and kind of stuck with you. Before you landed on this raised building thing, and then were lowered down and brought into this massive underground facility. Very much think Neon Genesis Evangelion sort of facility, catwalks and stuff. There's a bank off to the side where the different monsters are up and connected to things. And you've been brought in. When do you think was the last time that you interacted with Suriel, Aisling?
Well, uh, yeah, you know what? Suriel came to give us a speech. It was just like a few months before I left the orphanage for my basic training and things like that. And he came here to give us a speech, as a distinguished division agent that he is. Just tell us how it is amazing career and how we should all aspire to it, and what part what like division jobs we can get in our future, things like that. Yeah, it was just
I like that. Egther, what have you heard about Iceland?
Let me see. I think I've heard that they tend to send her on missions that require some more like stealth and a bit of subterfuge, which may be why we haven't been on many missions together, because that's not what I'm good at.
That makes sense. So Surreal, you will see this golf cart with one of the mysterious staff driving with Iceland along the ramp up to where you're at and your team. For the moment, we're going to put Lissa kind of off to the side. So we're about her. So what do you do, Surreal? How do you establish yourself here?
Well, first of all, I turn to Egther and say, "Shit, they've sent us another kid." Jesus, as though Lissa wasn't enough. So, Egther, I've been trying to keep a rein on Lissa. I need you to hold Lissa. I'll try and keep this one on a leash, because Jesus Christ, she's just a kid. And then I draw myself up to my full glorious height as the cart swings to a stop, and say in a warm voice, "Aisling?"
yes. Hey, Mr. Agent. Oh, how should I call you now when I'm also agent? So can I just call you Surreal?
I think it's best we start off formal, and we'll see how it goes as we work together. So call me Cyril Gaff.
Surreal Gaff.
And as lead agent on this mission, I'm a little bit surprised to see you. I didn't even know you'd finished training.
Yeah, I've been on several missions.
Okay. We must try to
Like-
get some coverage of that on the social media channels. You do well in social media, Ailing.
Yeah. Oh, I mostly just I just mostly post on Instagram myself in like a clothes, as I'm stylish, and that's probably my only. I don't really do mission stuff.
Yeah, well, that will come. That will come once you kind of earn your spurs, as we say in this game. I'd like to take 4 darkness tokens for feeling others are beneath me.
Okay, yeah, I think that seems fair. Yeah, I think you will see Egther. You know that he is a veteran agent. You know that he has described as prickly by some others. You see he's got a huge wolf with him that has a number of legs on it, and it's kind of nipping at his heels. And I think that you will note that Egther, it looks different from the last time that you saw him in the halls, in that he's missing a hand. What is your impression? What have you heard about Egther, Aisling?
What have I heard about Egther? Well, yeah, I've heard he's a very serious guy and kind of a buzzkill almost. But otherwise, he's like a, you know, he's a legend. He's been a long time with the division. So like everybody wants to, you know, be paired with him.
That
He's like,
makes
you know, the mysterious long time, you know, he's just like has this cool aura about him. Not like Surreal, who just like, like, shows himself everywhere and is everywhere. Like, you know, this guy, but, everybody thinks that this is just like, the silent competence type.
I'm just an ordinary guy.
So we'll assume that Surreal, like we kind of do the montage of Surreal and Egther giving you the briefing on what has gone on here. The pilots have been sent off to there was a little bit of an incident there in terms of interactions as the two of the agents started arguing with one another in front of them. But you're all talking there. You see the stuff on the screens, and just kind of as you're getting ready to like maybe choose where the three of you are going to go, how you're going to approach things next, that's when you would see the alarms go off, you would see the screens go across, the rift incursion notice, and I think you'll notice that people are kind of startled and are running to the consoles, and the sense you get is that this is off schedule. This is unusual here, and they're going over things, and Fletcher will turn to the three of you, the older sort of tech leader who is your rep, and he will turn to Egther, and he will say, normally we would dispatch a Halama and a pilot. How do you and your team want to handle this? We have to contain the rift incursion, but I don't know what you want to do.
Do as you usually do, and we will accompany them to observe and intervene if necessary.
All right. And he will go over and start looking at the things, and you will hear him call up Catalina, and you will see teams of people running now over to where the Halamas are stored, and you see them, getting all the prep sequences ready. Again, hers is, let me see, is an elemental type, kind of crackling storm contained there, and they are will come down and are starting to get prepped, and they are bringing the people over. They're doing all these procedures, all these kinds of things. Fletcher will say, do you want to have the Halama go out first, or do you want to go out first to engage? He seems a little concerned.
We will take point.
All right. And you will see Natasha Zamora, that's the ops director, will come over. She'll look at the three of you. You can see that she's been told to send the three of you out, but she's looking a little hesitant. She will say, we can get you set up with the protective gear. Do you need gear?
I'm ignoring this because what I'm interested in is who either looks unsurprised or who looks like they're moving smoothly into action.
That is a good thing. I think you will see that There is a woman
I
there.
was hoping to grasp a key on this
Yeah.
one.
Let me give you first the details, and then we'll have you grasp the key. You will definitely see this woman who has been pointed to and described as the head scientist. The other people seem perplexed and kind of freaking out, and she moves over and sits down at one of the consoles and begins doing things smoothly there. Even as Zamora is kind of trying to move the three of you along, figuring out what kind of gear. How many darkness tokens do you want to spend? You are muted.
I'm sorry, I've spent 3, and I've rolled 2d6. That is 6, and 3 is 9.
So that is in the sweet spot there.
It is.
So you will grasp a key here. Let me look at that. I think you will see her pull up a secondary screen. She's kind of off to the side. You see her pull up a secondary screen, and it looks like she's pulling up some energy data. And what she seems to be tracking, because you're kind of familiar with this, is some kind of psychic emanation coming from the rift. And you will see that there's a second sort of engram like scan thing. And it's a name you haven't seen before, called Despotir. And from what your glance can tell you, it looks like whoever this Despotir is, they're in the medical bay. And the scientist is kind of tracking some kind of psychic connection from the rift to them. Edgar, are you doing anything special? What are you saying about equipment as this person is moving you to the launch area?
I kind of just wave her off, and I pull out my hammer from like this weird way from under my coat where it shouldn't possibly fit, and I'll just wave her off, and I have all the equipment I need.
And she'll turn to you, Aisling, and she will say, do you require protective gear?
No, that would just slow me down. I have everything I need, I say, and I take my modern hunting crossbow from my bag.
And she'll kind of look, and she's not even like a respirator or a gas mask or anything.
Sure. Give me a gas mask.
Okay. And she will bring that out. She seems very concerned at the three of you, the lightness of your preparation. But they will load you up. Suriel, do you go along with them?
No, the reason I won't be going. I'll watch how things operate just to see what normal practice looks like.
Okay.
Egther, Ailing, they'll be fine.
Okay. So you will see on the monitor, Egther, Aisling, you will be taken to a like a magnetic Lev sort of train car underground. You'll be loaded in to that with a couple of personnel, and they will shoot through the darkness along until you reach another location. And you can still hear, like, they have the alarms going off the whole time. It begins to get under your skin there. But eventually it opens up, and they will load you into this elevator. And the ops person, Zamora, will say, we will wait 5 minutes, and then we'll send the Halamot out. That should give you enough time to observe and get to cover. Sound all right? Are you going to be all right? She looks at you, Aisling, like Egther. She can tell that he's serious, but you can tell that she's a little worried because you look like a teenage girl, even with this gas mask and this crossbow. And she's like, are you going to be all right?
Of course. I mean, you sent. Why are you looking at me like this? You sent teenagers to fight weird stuff every day, don't you?
But they have giant monsters that they're connected to.
Trust me, I'm also a monster. And size is kind of relative.
Doors will come slamming shut. Elevator will shoot up the tunnel. And this is where we'll take our first break. Let's take 10 for our first break. We'll take 5 for the second break. So take 10, and then we'll be back. So you will come out of this thing, sort of imagine that the floor of the jungle kind of lifts up. There's a hidden elevator there. You'll come out, and it is humid and hot and sweaty in that jungle. What is the noise that you hear, Aisling? Like, what's the sound? Is it some kind of energy sound? Is it silence? Is it some kind of roar? Like, what do you think you're hearing in the background?
Oh, I think I'm hearing footsteps of something very large.
Yeah, definitely shaking throughout here. Egther, what does Aisling see that tells them that you are absolutely in your element?
I think yeah, I think I like spring up on a rock or something and just look around, and you can tell that I'm listening from like trying to figure out exactly where the noise is coming from, but I'm fully relaxed. I'm like alert but not tense.
Absolutely.
We've never fleshed this out, but do we have comms?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Because I'd like to select Egther's channel.
Okay.
And say to Egther, get off that fucking rock. Remember, the briefing says engage only in emergency. And anyway, we need to see how the kid reacts.
And I think it's at that point that the canopy of the jungle parts, comes crashing down, and you will see this thing. Allow me to screen share. So it is like a massive head made of metal on legs. And there it is, bristling with spikes, has a massive mouth. There's kind of vestigial arms on this thing. And it's moving, and I think you'll see, like, at one point some beams come down from those eyes and roast a section of the jungle. And when it opens its mouth, it's like there's a blue white hot furnace in there. It's about maybe 50, 60 meters tall. Probably more like 60 if you're guessing at this point. So Egther, I want to start with you, since you're very excited about this. What do you do?
Like how far away is it? Is it like miles or is it hundreds of yards?
It is like hundreds of meters away. Like you could start running and get to it if you wanted to. I mean, you're a massive inhuman beast.
Yeah. I think he barely hears what Surreal is saying on the comms, because now he has found a challenge worthy of his abilities, and he fully intends to lose himself in battle and don't think about anything else.
So you are rushing towards the target.
Yeah, not like straight towards it, but like trying to stay in cover a little bit, because
Okay.
I mean it's still a huge dangerous creature that could step on him. So yeah.
Switch to Ailing's channel. Ailing, distract Egther before he gets us all in trouble.
Sure.
What do you want
On
to
it.
do? You see
Hell.
him, he takes off that wolf, right at his heels. He is rushing through, probably changing form a little bit, even as he starts running, getting bigger.
Well, distracting people is kind of my thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna go full on, let's go full on, scaring actor. It's gonna be fun.
So what do you want to try and do? What
Yeah,
how do you
I'm
want to
just
use your
gonna,
powers?
yeah, so, well, by the way, as I put on my my gas mask, my eyes start shining a lot, because only thing that's blocking it are my special glasses
Right.
that you can't really wear with the mask. So yeah, and then I just transform into this shadowy hoodie thing that is kind of like in the shape of a human person, but it's the second picture. Yeah, everybody
Right.
can see it here.
Perfect.
And yeah, I just there's something that runs next to actor just on the edge of his vision, and then on the second edge of his vision, there's another weird movement. And as I assume he turns around a little bit, so there's again something on the other side, and exactly between the big steps of the monster, he can hear someone walking behind him. What does actor do with this? Like you're
Let's say this feels like we're going to a move here.
Yeah.
So it feels to me like you're unleashing the dark, which is about kind of enforcing your will. You're trying to create an effect on this. Anders, are you okay with this? Resolving it this way? Okay. I always like to check in with PvP stuff. So how many darkness tokens do you
Can
have?
I apologize?
Yes.
I should have checked in that was okay before I suggested it.
Aisling, have you generated any darkness tokens? Do you think anything would have?
No, I haven't. So
okay.
I can spend all of them because that's 0. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead?
Yeah.
And roll. So that is a 10. So it seems to me like there are two obvious choices from the list. One is to confuse Egther from the Unleash the Dark. And I assume the other is to avoid reprisals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So Egther, what is it that like distracts you? Like what is it that kind of stops you? How do you react to this that causes this?
I think by the nature of Aisling's powers, I think Egther connects these things he perceives as running around him as being connected to the kaiju monster. So he becomes worried that it has some sort of like helpers or parasites or something that's trying to herd him towards it. So he at some there's like a gorge or something, and he will suddenly turn towards it and leap over it in order to try to get rid of these things. So now he's, instead of going towards the big creature, he's kind of zigzagging through the forest and trying to get away from these illusion.
So I think you seem to have distracted Egther for the moment. He's headed in another direction away from the monster. What is it that you want to do then? Are you following Egther? Are you scouting this beast? What do you want to do?
I want to like, emerge from the shadows just right in front of him.
Okay. So I do think that then Aisling appears right close to where you're at, Egther, kind of off course. What do you say? What do you do, Egther?
Careful, there are strange beings about.
Stop, you're not supposed to engage with it. It's a debriefing.
Briefings. These mortals think they can tell creatures such as you and me what to do. I have a challenge for the first time in a long while that where I don't risk destruction or harm to anyone who don't deserve it. I intend to make full use of that.
That's not what we are supposed to do.
Do what you're do what you're told if you want. I intend to enjoy myself.
In the space that
If
this
you
is
think
sorry.
so.
Well, let me stop here, because I do feel like we've maybe got a maneuver here, a move here that might be triggering. Certainly, we could at any point, if you felt like we could be grasping for keys as you're studying the situation, you could do that. But it feels to me like you're trying to connect with Aisling. Egther, does it feel like reveal your heart? Are you okay with that?
That sounds fair. That absolutely sounds fair.
And then we'll come to you, Suriel. How many darkness tokens do you want to spend?
I don't know. I have 3. Let's spend 2 of those.
That makes sense.
So 2 dice, 2. So 10.
It's 10. Like he speaks from his heart, Aisling. Like you could tell that this means something significant to Egther. Egther, what are you getting? What's your pick from this list here?
Ooh. I think I soothe my heart and clear my my cornered condition.
Kind of realizing you're out in the open. You don't. I mean, you have this freedom. Aisling, do you think you like? Does this affect you? Do you feel like this changes you, or are you like trying to? Oh no, we still got to follow orders. I'm going to shut this down. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shut him down.
Okay. So you can tell that you're not getting through. That this young woman who is this shape of darkness, these glowing eyes at this moment is maybe not listening to what you're doing. But I think in the background we can hear the ground is shaking here. Let me check in with Suriel, and then we'll kind of come back up top. So Suriel, well, all this is going on. What are you doing?
I'm shouting at the ops director, get your people up there now. Engage.
Okay, and they are scrambling, and they are rushing the cycle. They thought they had a couple extra minutes, and they're cutting through the procedurals there, and you will see them load up the pilot onto this artificial container that is on the Halima. She gets locked in. You'll see the video screens of the same sort of shot that you saw for Luna. And then there is, and again, my touchstone for this is very Evangelion. It's just this sudden shoot of the elevator just shooting up. And Aisling, Egther, you will hear this sound and this sort of cracking like a thunderstorm rolling in, and you will see this Halima come flying out, kind of arcs in the air and lands like at the corner of a triangle. There's the monster. Here's you. Here's the pilot and the Halima, and it's kind of getting its bearings right now. Egther, now what do you do?
Does the monster seem to react to the presence of the Halima?
Because it didn't see you, neither of you roll badly to be spotted. So I think that it hasn't seen you, and it does turn, and you will see it open that mouth, and it roars. And when it roars, there is just this blinding white cone of energy that shoots off and strikes that Halima. The Halima puts up this field of lightning and crackles and stuff, but it is just absolutely blinding right now. I think, Aisling, you're so used to darkness and the shadows that flash is intense.
Very, yeah.
Egther.
Yeah. Egther will now he's just completely focused on this monster. His features turn a bit more wolf-like. Like he hunches over, and his ears get a bit pointed, and he becomes even hairier in his face, and his teeth grow and glisten, and then he takes off through the forest, not straight for the
Right.
creature, but still kind of intent on coming in somewhere behind it when it as it's turning towards the Halima.
Well, let's do this. I think it makes sense in terms of giving people cool moments. I think we get you at least one shot at this thing before Aisling can potentially stop you again. We'll come and check what you want to do, but let's resolve that. Egther, I think you have a move for this.
I do indeed. The move I picked up from the summon playbook, which is come on, tough guy. When you go up against an opponent that is colossal and otherworldly, tell everyone what you say or do to taunt them and keep their attention on you. Spend darkness tokens and roll. And I need to figure out now if I've done anything to. No, I haven't done anything to earn any darkness tokens.
You don't think you're feeling isolated? You tried to contact Aisling and she shut you down.
Yeah, but that was more like, yeah, trying to pull her into this feeling that I'm having.
Okay.
But I am content to be there by myself.
All right.
So
what are you doing? You come at this thing, and you do come out at it from an oblique angle.
Yeah.
But then what do you do to take its attention?
Yeah. I think as he closes in, Egther grows more to his natural size, which is still nowhere near the size of this giant monster. And he leaps up and strikes it with the hammer, knowing that this is not enough to hurt it, but it will distract it. And I think he will call out in like his native tongue, turn and face the last of the giants.
Those are words of power. Your language hasn't been spoken in hundreds, if not thousands of years. And I think that will echo and reverberate across the battlefield as you say those words. How many darkness tokens do you want to spend?
I'm going to spend the one I have.
Okay, then let's have you roll.
Yeah. So, +1, and I get 7. So I want an 8, right?
Yes, you do. Do you want to burn a
I'm going
bond?
to spend a bond. I have recently picked up a move that gives me bond with the specter of my foster mother. I'm going to spend that
Okay.
because she was a mighty warrior. This is me calling on that power.
All right. So what is the 8 to 10 result on that move you took?
I choose 2 from among the following. You give your allies a golden opportunity. Choose one ally to gain a bond with you. I can uncover a key at great cost. I can inflict 2 conditions on them, but take 1 in return. I think I'll go for the last 2. I will uncover a key at great cost, and I will inflict 2 conditions, but I also take.
So what condition do you want to mark?
I will take distant because now I am not caring so much about the mortal world at this point.
I think that when you leap up, arc through the air, and you're what, 5, 6, 7 meters tall at this point? Leap up, and that hammer comes crashing down, and it is a resounding blow. And Iceland, you'll hear it, and this thing staggers to the side when it's hit, and turns, lumbering slowly. And Egther, you will see it's hard to make out, but buried sort of under the carapace of this creature, like close to one of the eyes, you see what looks like a pilot's cockpit. And it can't make out if there's someone alive or dead or what in there, but this is a pilot's cockpit, and I think like this is not somebody that you recognize, and it doesn't look like a pilot from the briefings or anything like that. Does that feel like a good key?
Yeah.
Okay. So Iceland, you see that. Egther runs up, comes up from the edge and smashes, and has an effect. Like this thing staggers to the side when it is struck, and it's kind of turning slowly because it's huge, turning even as the Halama is trying to get into position to get a good shot at it. What do you do, Iceland?
Yeah, first of all, I feel kind of unloved and abandoned here.
Yeah.
Like no one's listening to me, and like people are giving me like orders that are just like confusing and contradictory. Just I just feel like why I'm even here.
Yeah. How many
know
darkness
what?
tokens do you think you want to take?
Wait.
2 to 4.
Let's take 2.
Okay.
And you know what? 3.
Yeah.
It's a middle
You're
ground.
losing money not taking the full amount because you're going to spend them here in just a second.
And I think, you know what? If he can just run there and do whatever he wants, let me do that.
Okay.
And you know what? That creature is standing in the water still.
Yeah.
Is it?
Let's say that there's a kind of a half lake that's there that it's in. Yeah.
You know what happens to people standing in the water? They can draw. And I just want to summon the, dream of drawing to attack that creature from the lake. So, I want to use my borrowed power. And it's just it's a dream creature that's just, personification of, do you have this nightmare of being just lost in water and gasping for air and it not coming up?
Okay.
Okay, maybe
So
that's just me.
I think that's perfect. No, I when I was very young, we got caught in a hurricane, and I still have nightmares about that. How many tokens do you want to spend?
2.
Okay, then let's have you roll with +2.
2d6 plus 2.
So that's an 11, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
great. Do I have any bonds?
yeah, if you want to spend a bond, you could take it down to a 10.
So my only bond with Surreal, so I don't know. Well, he told me we should not engage, so I'm already
Indeed, I
breaking it.
did, Ailing, and I'm very prepared to switch to that channel and say, Ailing, what are you doing? If that would be helpful.
What do
Yeah,
you think?
I'm trying to help here.
So you want to burn that bond?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's me too.
Then you summon this thing, this nightmare of drowning that kind of personifies and rolls over this thing. What is the pick that you want to choose there?
I mean, I think it's obvious. I want to summon the creature that is fire, rage, violence, and storm.
So I think that will rush up on this thing and inflict another condition on it, and it will kind of stagger back away from that. And I think that that gives the other Halamaw a chance to let loose, and crackles lightning corona, scatters across the skin of it. Parts of it are blowing off, and it's staggering back, and it is almost done. Like you can see it trying to keep itself right, but it's about to fall over, and it's struggling against this thing, this nightmare it's clearly a conscious thing, and it clearly can feel that nightmare, and screaming, Egther, how do you finish this thing off?
So the pilot seat, was that exposed, or is it just could I just see it, but it's
you can see it. It's kind of caught under some of the carapace of it. You could try and wrench it free if you wanted to.
No, I think Egther wants to really defeat this thing, and not defeat the pilot, but defeat the creature, the monster, the whatever it is.
So this feels like we're going back to Unleash the Dark.
Yeah, probably.
Have you gotten any tokens from that successful smashing?
I don't think so, but I will do so. I will do now, because I'm going to tap into my XP thing as well.
Okay.
As he's preparing to leap on the creature again, he will on his comms he will speak to I think this is like on the open channel.
Sure.
The great warriors of my people often faced beasts such as these, large, powerful. They were all slain, and though I may be the last of the giants, the last of the giants still stands. And then I think I will leap right at its face, or I mean, it's mostly face, but
right,
just at the center, and just smash it with the hammer.
Okay, roll. How many do you want to spend?
Yeah. So I still don't have any tokens. That did just give me the XP. So yeah, I'm rolling without tokens.
Okay,
Let's
we
see
got bonds.
how- Yeah. But I roll a 4. So that's rough. Is there a limit on how many bonds I can spend?
You would have to spend 4 bonds.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. And this was Unleash the Dark, right?
Yeah.
You greatly underestimated them. The kid will describe the desperate position you find yourself in. Oh, I think that's interesting, actually, for Egther to not succeed here. Yeah, I'll take that.
You will go to leap at this thing as it's rolling back, and you're called out to it even as you're kind of arcing through the air against the moon. And this thing twists and turns, and it opens its mouth again. And that beam will wash over you. Mark a condition. And I think as you are flying through the air, you will hear the sound of a rumbling in the distance. And you can tell that the island's volcano is rumbling. And that triggers something in you, and you will feel the pressure of the darkness on you and it says in your ear, soon you will have no choice. Go ahead and mark a ruin as well. So mechanically, that is another tick on the doom clock after the assault here. So the tick on the doom clock last time was the unexpected attack. And this tick is the volcano. Iceland, you see that. Egther goes, you're like, for a second, you're like, oh my gosh, he's going to do it. And then, and he's like a bug caught in a bug zapper. Just that flash as he's hit by this thing and goes flying. What do you do?
Well,
Ailing, what the fuck are you doing? Is this about impressing the followers? All 26 of them. Get a grip. You're a division agent. Click.
What do you think?
no. Fine, I have to save Hector, I guess. Well, it's zapping him. So you know what? I want to give it another target that it forgets about Hector. And yeah, I want to just push my shadow control just like up to its limit. So it just starts like now we are talking about just kaiju, size shadows. Just running around this. And I also want to, kind of manipulate its feelings to, obviously go after this shadow and forget everything else. And I hope Hector makes it.
Yeah. So this feels like to me like power through darkness, because you can push the limits of your powers to avert an imminent danger.
Yeah.
How many tokens do you want to spend? Did you get any from Suriel yelling at you?
It's a good question. Probably not.
Okay.
No, there's nothing
Aren't you
for me to
feeling
gain
unloved?
tokens.
I think you're
I
feeling
have one
unloved.
left, yeah. I'm gonna use my last token here and see how it goes.
Now you could take a couple tokens for feeling unloved, since Suriel just gave you a severe
That's
dressing
true.
down.
Well, I thought I rolled a bit
Okay.
too quick.
All right.
So yeah, I guess it's, well, can't really make this anything else.
That is
So this is gonna be failure. Yeah.
So let me go back and look at this. So let me look at the darkness demands. I think that there is a bit like there's a feeling of rejection from Suriel, and like Egther's kind of failing. I think you feel that tug, like you have messed up, an opportunity to kind of make a connection with a family of people, with a team, and you feel that kind of push on you, like you've absolutely messed that up. And I think you kind of standing there, and there'll be that flash of light as these beams go rolling across those shadow things, and you look up just as this massive beam of energy rips across the ground and strikes you and sends you flying. Mark a condition.
Yeah.
And mark a ruin. And you are thrown into that body of water there, and you're desperately trying to get yourself together here. The Halamaw, Storm Halamaw, goes rushing up. You're a little worried because that is that thing is covered in lightning, and you are in the water, and it is coming running to take out the monster. It doesn't even see you. And it looks like that's going to happen. Egther.
Yeah. Egther is angry because he thought he could defeat this thing, and apparently not. So now he will go for the pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taking some tokens.
Damn it, Egther, let these people do the job they're designed to do.
He just tears out his comms and throws them away, and he'll pick them up at some point when it's convenient for him to have them again. But now, yeah, I'm going to go for my merciless condition that I just checked.
Okay.
And he will. This time he's a little bit more clever, so he leaps up, and I think he kind of scales the creature instead of just leaping at it.
Absolutely.
He's up along the body so that he can get at that pile of
Shadow of the
seeds.
Colossus. Okay. Yeah, perfect.
And tear it open and just smash whoever's in there.
That feels like Unleash the Dark. How many tokens did you get for the merciless or angry?
Merciless, I'm going to take 4, and I'll spend 2 of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my Reshaped by Despair. When I unleash the dark, I may describe how my form changes through violence and beauty, causing those around you to despair. And now he is more than half wolf.
Okay.
He's very bestial features, snarling and slavering as I think he uses the hammer to smash open so that he can get at this pilot, but then he just goes at them with teeth and claws, assuming I roll well enough.
I want to scream at Fletcher, get your people out of there. He's out of control.
Our people can handle it, and Egther has control. I fought with Egther. He's fine.
This is not the man you knew. This is not who he was. He could turn on your people.
Egther.
Yeah. I get to choose. Let's see, causing those around you to despair. Yeah, I'm going to gain. I'm going to gain their fear and loathing. I
Okay.
am terrifying at this point.
Yeah. I do think that you will see that, Serial, is you will, like, Catalina's vitals and things and psychic command thing go off the charts. Like, she has a visceral reaction to Egther's change, and you will see it go out of control, out of control, out of control. And that Halamaw starts going the other direction, and lightning is coming down out of the sky and shattering trees, and she has lost control.
Then I would like to, I think this is probably seeking to avert imminent danger.
Okay.
Should I make my roll?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
let's
yes, I beg
let's
your pardon.
resolve
Yeah,
Egther.
sorry.
Then I want to come to you. Then I want to come back to Aisling. So Egther, roll Unleash the Dark.
With my 2 tokens, I get an 8.
That's perfect. That's right in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So do you want to inflict a condition?
Yeah, get past the defense, then inflict a condition, and
this is going to take him out.
Yeah, avoid reprisals.
Okay.
Then.
You will fly up, reach up, you will tear open that pilot cockpit, and you will see this corpse, this shriveled corpse of a teenager in that uniform that you've seen before. It's dead, but you will strike that because it's an exposed area. It's connected into the heart of this thing, and you will hit that, and that will reverberate, and it will hang for a second before it begins to topple backwards as the life energy, the eyes and the mouth, all of those go out as it goes flying backwards to crash down. Suriel, you want to try and stop Catalina?
Yes. I want to draw the venom. I want to draw the despair, the panic from this child.
Okay.
So I am going to spend 3 darkness tokens. 2d6. That is 9, 10, 11, 12. So that doesn't look good.
So you can mark a condition to do this and have control of your powers.
No, I will spend bond. I'm going to spend 2 of the bonds with my public. It cannot be that Suriel fails to save a teenager.
Okay.
The social media profile for that is not good.
So I think that the 8 to 10, you will avert that, and I think the reprieve is, I think you'll keep the lightning from striking the body of water that Aisling is floating in right now. Does that feel like a reasonable benefit?
In the sense, I stop Aisling getting hurt.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and I think we'll see, like, you can see the vitals on the screen, like those numbers come down, and you will see them engage the auto return mechanism, a set of like buried controls and like psychic commands, and you'll see that Halamaw kind of turn and head back to that Aisling. There's a wash of water as this thing falls, and you're kind of swept by the tidal wave. You'll see that Halamaw, there's a crackle, it let loose with all this electricity, and then it shuts down and it starts walking back. Egther is perched on top of the body of this thing. What do you do?
Well, I guess there's not that much to do anymore here. So, well, I guess the problem is solved.
It does.
Egther is
Look like
fine. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so, well, I'm just gonna get on my feet and just get, start walking towards the entrance to the base.
Okay.
I just like, well,
Now this is
that
an
was-
opportunity here. I don't know how many darkness tokens you have.
yeah. Well, I feel very abandoned and unloved,
Yeah.
and I just want to like get away from everyone. So I think I'm acting in, in accordance with my despairing.
Yeah,
Permission.
absolutely. So we will see you now. I will mention that one of the things you could do here is if you wanted to investigate the scene, I don't know, you may be
Sure.
preoccupied, you could certainly grasp for keys.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel, I still feel this well abandoned and unloved, but you know what? Let's go check on Hector and this thing.
Absolutely.
How is he?
Yeah. Well, let's. So you go over to where Egther is at. Egther is still monstrous and horrible. Do you want to engage with him, or do you want to check the scene out? What do you think is your focus here?
You know what? Let's check the scene.
Okay.
Stay away from him.
How many darkness tokens do you want to spend on grasp the keys?
2.
2. Okay. Let's have you roll.
+2. 12.
So that
Again.
is a 12 here. So I think we will see you kind of move away from Egther, and you can see there are some of the, like, there are some like sensor pillars and things, some control pillars for the organization that are kind of out here. And you walk over to one, and it hasn't been damaged by the fight, but it does look like it's loose and open, like somebody opened it and maybe did some sabotage to it and then kind of closed it up. So it looks like someone has been out here sabotaging some of the mechanisms.
I will take a photos of all of this with my smartphone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't you dare post those.
That's not for posting, that's for evidence. I'm not stupid.
I think that it is like, maybe that kind of is finally kind of what gets to you is, you're doing the right thing. You know what you're doing. You're a trained agent. And here's Serial once again coming in on your comms.
Yeah.
So I want you to mark 2 ruin.
Yeah.
That's the cost.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I've gone through basic training. I've been to missions. I'm not an idiot. You don't have to treat me like I'm some stupid girl who's like 12 or something.
Do you understand the difference between the
18.
minors and the majors?
I'm almost 18. I'm not dumb.
I think this is a good place for us to like see the group regroup. We'll take our second break here. Let's take 5, and then we'll come back with the group back inside the base. Sound good? Okay. Take 5. So we're going to cut back inside the base. You will see, like, on the monitors, there are teams with heavy loaders and things like that, moving the bits and body parts of this thing off to the graveyard. Inside, they will immediately take Catalina out of her shut down Halamaw, and they will rush her down to the medical facility to make sure that she is okay. And Payne will kind of like, he looks disappointed at Egther. Like he's worked with Egther before, and Egther has kind of let him down here. And he will get you three a ready room to talk, and says, I need to see to my people. I'll be back to check in with you. If you need to interview or debrief with anyone, we'll have them sent down here. I'll get you some clean clothing and such. Oh, this is a question. I think you were in your sort of darkness form. Like when you come out of that, are you clean, or are you still carrying the mud and dirt from getting thrown around? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think I think that the darkness form is just like, shadows over, just putting shadows over myself. So yeah, I'm still like completely just like as dirty as I should be.
Right. Egther is
Wet.
scorched, yeah, as well. So the two of you look much worse for wear. Suriel looks great. He looks stylish.
Yeah, Suriel is at the door and says, I can't even talk to you two right now.
Well, you probably should.
Debrief, right? Talk to one another, work out what happened out there, and I'll be back in 20 minutes. Because right now, and I want to follow Fletcher to medical.
I think as before Suriel turns to leave, Egther will take the skull from this dead pilot that was in there and toss it to Suriel. Have them look at this and see if they can find out who it was.
I wasn't expecting that. Maybe it wasn't a waste of time. Walk away.
No, it wasn't. We got interesting things, but well, you're just, too arrogant to listen to us.
He's arrogant enough. He's already walked away.
What's wrong with him?
Maybe you can make some sense of all this.
Aisling, what do you say to Egther? He's sitting there, kind of got you in trouble a little bit, but did take down that monster. What are you saying to him?
What's wrong with him and with you? Like
with Suriel, he believes he can recapture his divine glory without losing himself in it. He's deluded.
Why did you, follow the orders? Isn't that what division is for?
I work for division because I choose to.
What do you feel like when he dismisses this so quickly?
This is not what this is not what I have been told this is going to be like and promised. Like I've seen much different. I've been, painted much different picture of how my first few missions will go, and now I finally get to work with big name agents, and one of them is kind of a jerk and the other is a loose cannon, and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm the voice of reason here? Like I can't even vote. Why am I here? Why am I? What is this?
Tell me, do you truly believe that all you will do is go on missions, do your job, get a pat on the head like a good dog, and he kind of scratches his wolf under the chin there, and not doesn't definitely doesn't pat him on the head, like shows that he and Garm are partners. They're not. It's more partners than master and follower.
It's not. So you just think I'm stupid?
I think you are very, very young. And you have much
That's
to
not
know.
no.
Let's do that. Like I think it does feel like, as Alan has pointed out, that maybe you're trying to connect with Egther.
Yeah,
You're trying
yeah.
to sincerely connect.
Yeah.
How many tokens do you want to spend?
3.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Uh, Well,
A 12?
on heart to heart. Yeah.
So here is the thing that we do is you get to ask Egther how you scare him right now. Like let's start with that. So Egther, what is it about Aisling that scares you, that worries you, that bothers you here?
I know she has a lot of power, and it seems she's willing to let Division control that power. And I know how short-sighted and vicious humans can be. So allowing them to direct that power as they want is dangerous. So it's more she's allowing herself to be a tool, basically.
And I think, how does Egther like scare you right now?
He's a very powerful, and he's just completely disregarding any, protocols and orders, and it's just like being, like he's just doing whatever he wants. But that means that only difference between him and people we fight is that he has a badge. But why does,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
So now you get a choice here, Aisling. You can either set however many darkness tokens Egther has, or you can take a bond with what the darkness demands of you.
You know what? I will take the bond with what the darkness
Yeah.
demands of me.
I think that yeah, you see that darkness is in all these characters' hearts.
Yeah.
What about you, Egther? Do you want to take that bond, or do you want to set the number of darkness tokens that Aisling has?
I think I'll set the darkness tokens. I think a 3 is feels right.
Okay.
So that's a certain amount of fear that you have of Aisling there. Let's put a pin in this conversation. We'll come back to this in just a minute if you want to follow up on that. But let me check in with Cyril here. Cyril, you follow.
Yeah, I want to go to medical.
Okay, yeah. You'll head down to the medical bay. You will see that Payne stays by Catalina. He's clearly very concerned about them, and Catalina, is signing to him, and they will get them set up. And you will see, as you're down here, you will see that scientist down here, which is a little odd because you just left them upstairs working at a console.
Mm.
But they're already down here in the medical area. And they're kind of overseeing this. You can see that there are a number of other pilots in here. Some that are clearly have been hit hard by the mutations. You can see some that are in oxygen tents. There are a few what look like adults, maybe in their 20s, that are also kind of what look like they're in sort of long-term intensive care, like when they got severed from their Halamaw, that didn't go well. And the scientist, a woman there, is kind of looking over and walks over to you, and you realize she's dressed differently. And she says, I don't believe we've met. You're part of the division team.
Yeah, see what you make of that. Hand of the skull, now leave me alone.
Well, how about a little context?
You tell me what that tells you. Then I'll offer you some context. Now I have more important things to do. This young woman is very hurt.
And Payne is there. She looks at Payne, and Payne like gives her a gesture, like do what he wants. And she will go over to some like clearly medical equipment, and you'll hear her call for somebody from forensics to come up here.
And then I begin to glow in front of Catalina and anyone else, any of the others that are conscious here. And I say, you don't have to worry. The next time you're in trouble, you just wish for me, and everything will be fine. And then I will activate Call Me Master.
Okay. How many tokens do you want to spend on that?
3, please. But I'll take 3 back for ask someone to worship me, just for later. So 2d6 plus 3. That's a 10.
That is a 10. What is it you want?
I want her to create a place of worship and power in my name.
So I think there is a bit of like you will see her eyes open to your glory here before they kind of roll her off into an MRI.
Tell your friends.
And yeah,
and then I want to apologize to Payne, really. Oh, sorry. Is there something you get to do? I can't remember.
no, not with the 8 to 10.
No. That's all good.
Payne will look at you. What do you say to Payne?
I apologize. Egther, he is not the Egther you knew. That was a decade ago. He's been through a lot. He's suffering.
What happened to him? He was not this unhinged before. He was strong and powerful and I mean, a real asset.
Look, sometimes it's easy to forget that division is full of monsters. Okay? Back in the day, Egther had a grip on that. You just need to understand he's different now.
All right.
Because if you don't, you're going to continue to rely on him when you should be relying on me.
Point taken.
I'd like to trigger honeyed tongue and clouded minds.
Okay.
Only survived in this wretched state thanks to your ability to lie and charm. When you choose to unleash the dark through lies, because I have no idea what Egther was like a decade ago.
Right.
I have no idea what's going on inside Egther. But I need this guy on side.
Okay.
So let's see.
Tokens.
I think another 3. I think it's worth kind of dribbling them down at this point. Yeah. And I guess this is Unleash the Dark, yeah?
Yeah.
2d6 plus 3. Oh, that's 13.
That is a 13.
Oh.
So you get to choose one, and you've got that extra list.
Yeah, so yeah, that's unfortunate, but never mind. So yeah, you can also choose one from below, even on a miss. Okay.
So you get 2 choices, one from that list and one from the original.
Yeah, I think I will take I learn a valuable secret.
Okay.
So something in his response, maybe. But then the basic move, your control falters and you go too far. Choose one. But the keeper describes an unintended consequence. I think I get past their defenses and inflict a condition.
Okay.
Because I
So
think
I think
he seems a very narrow thinking kind of guy.
Yeah. I think you inflict a certain amount of doubt on him about Egther. And he does say, the other giant that I met was already that far.
Oh. Tell me about them.
I didn't know them for very long. They mysterious recruited them. They reveled in the fight out there with the kaiju. And then they went through the rift.
My. Yeah, well, we need to make sure that doesn't happen again.
He says, I need to make sure that Catalina's all right, and so on. He says, I will get Kayla 7 down, and she's the specialist in kind of forensics.
Thank you, Mr. Pay.
Kayla 5 works with the living, but we'll get that sorted out.
And I'm sensing clones?
Yes and no. I'll explain it to you later. You should probably get back to your team.
You get to describe an unintended consequence.
Let me think here. What's a good? That's not a doomsday clock. I think there is a minute here when you see him go over and stand by Catalina and kind of take her hand and talk to her, and you have this flash. He has his hand on her. He's trying to calm her, to draw out the panic that she has, and you have a flash to yourself in the garden with your hand resting on that young woman, Lane.
Damn it.
Drawing it out. Go ahead and mark a ruin.
Yeah, damn. Will I never be free of that moment?
No. Egther, Icelink, do we want to continue on with that your scene, or do we want to draw Suriel back up? Do you have anything else you want to do before we pull him back into the moment?
I'm fine
I
with
don't-
Suriel coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit of quiet there as you kind of get the measure of one another. You're kind of watching, and eventually Suriel comes back. Maybe Suriel, has your demeanor changed?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I really should mark. Where's it gone? Forlorn.
Okay.
Aileen probably thinks that what she said had some effect, because I come back and I'm rather kind of they're doing the forensics on the skull. Maybe they'll have something to tell us. But
Don't
did you
really know if
learn
you-
anything out there?
Yeah, I don't know if you can trust them. Look, someone did something to that thing out there, and I will throw my phone with the photos, like send it across the table.
See
Look
it?
at this.
Yeah, I think that clearly someone humanoid, or I mean at that size, did opened up one of these things and did some sabotage. There may be more of this out there.
Okay. That was the key. That was the clue, wasn't it? So
Yes.
I'm just adding something before we forget it. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's all we need. What about you, big fella? What did you learn?
At least some of these things that come through the rift also carry pilots.
Okay, well, in an effort to stop us doing any more damage, what are we going to do next? Ailing? Give me your
We
best
should-
shot.
We should search for the traitor who's sabotaging things.
Great. You do that. Egther, what about you?
Ooh, hmm. If this mission has become about ferreting out traitors and spies, then I'm not sure there's much I can do except perhaps stand in a corner and loom.
Yeah, exactly. Go frighten the shit out of somebody till they tell you something useful. Okay? But try not to hit them.
Why would I hit them?
I don't know, my friend. I don't know. I wish I knew.
There's no one here who is a worthy opponent unless they're loaded up in their monsters and those. Either way, my thirst for battle is slaked for the moment.
Yeah, so Ailing, go talk to some kids about kid stuff and find out what they know. Egther, go and loom over somebody in control until they kind of crack under the strain. Why don't you?
I'm not a kid.
You are more a kid than the other people in the room, kid.
Really?
Yeah, you have real
Because-
value to this team.
Because I remember, because, you know, from what I remember, people started dreaming before they started worshipping gods. Think about that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm sure the dream's been around a long time. But let's deal with this embodiment, right? You're a nice, friendly face. Go talk to other nice people.
I've been there for when people started dreaming, you know.
Okay, you're really old, Ailing. Now use that experience to go and milk something out of these kids, okay?
Oh, I see. Whatever I say, you will just turn it against me.
I'm just trying
That's
to
what
help.
you do.
I'm just trying to
Sure.
help.
Yeah, I will do that.
Do you want company?
No, you're old or young. I don't know. I confused myself.
So let's do it. Let's do a once around. Give you a chance to interact. Ailing, who do you want to talk to? You know, there are a couple of other teen pilots that you've been introduced to. Asterio and Malika. There's also Luna's sister, the high priestess. They're probably the ones that are closest to your age.
Yeah. You know what? Let's start with high priestess. Maybe she knows something.
Yeah. So you will ask around, and you will head down to another part of the facility that appears to be a like elaborately built shrine with all kinds of prayer symbols and mirrors and incense and kind of elaborate hypergeometric designs on the walls. There are some priest technicians who are there who are clearly working on some of the psychic amplifiers that are used. And sort of as soon as you come in to that chamber, you will see this young woman rise up from where she's at some kind of altar. What's one thing you see here in this shrine that speaks to you? I mean, you're from Nightmare and Memory. Like, what is it? What is a thing, or a symbol, or something you see here that like triggers something for you?
What triggers something for me? Well, I think it's actually the amplifiers, because I don't know if it's the vibration that's coming from them or the technology used or just their design, but they really remind me of the thing that summoned me here.
Yeah, and this woman who has long black hair, her eyes are kind of milky blue there, and when she gets up so quickly, the scientist technicians, the priest technicians here kind of look, they're really startled, and she moves over, like intercepts you, and she says, "You should not be in here."
Why? I'm fine. I just came to speak to you.
No. I don't know what you are, but you are a vibration of something uncanny and awful, and it's getting in the instruments. Let's step outside of the temple.
Sure. I will like walk backwards out of the temple.
And
so you're saying you don't like my vibes?
You are, what are you?
I'm well, people usually say I'm a nightmare.
But you're manifest, you're corporeal, you're real.
Yeah.
Your vibes, your aura, it drifts off of you.
Yes. That's, yeah. Hey, did you ever woke up and you remembered being chased by some place someone hunting you, someone being threatening, and you just had to run away from them?
She pauses and she goes, I know that nightmare well.
Well, then we already met. Amazing. That was me. And not that person. I was the whole dream. Did you like it?
No, I did not. But
Good, I guess.
you are our spell tech here. The things that we use to empower the psychic weaponry and defenses are very delicate. So
I'm sorry. I didn't
no,
mean to disrupt anything. I'm just, walking around with it to see some stuff.
you're not a new pilot then.
No. I'm with Division.
Oh, the outsiders.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, we all want this to be over. I just want to be out of your hair, as you guys probably want us to be out.
I do.
But-
I know that my psychics and I will locate my sister. I don't see why we had to call division in.
And, well, so about your sister, how was she?
Well, I think now we're kind of moving into the questioning thing.
Yeah.
I want to have you roll grasping keys.
Sure. I'm gonna give it, let's say 2.
Okay.
So I still have 1. So 7.
Do you want to burn a bond?
Do I have a bond to burn? Oh, I do. I still have last bond, so yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I will burn my last bond with Serial.
Okay.
He's
What is
jerk
it
anyway.
about Serial, like your connection with him, that kind of pushes you to like do better here?
Oh yeah, I want to prove to him that I can do this, that I'm just not some stupid kid or old person or whatever. We agreed on that is my age difference. So yeah, I will just prove to him, and I will show up to the jerk that I can do this, that I'm not just some kid. I'm an agent like him.
And you're talking to her, you're asking her about her sister. She's kind of telling you her sister was clearly younger, was kind of the heart of the team. Celine, like they wanted her to be a pilot, but she didn't. That's not what she wanted. She thought she could be of more use as a priestess, and that created a rift, kind of like a distance between her and her sister. And she finally says, I discovered that there were things I did not know about my sister. And she'll take out like a tablet, and she says, when she went missing, I went to her room to look at her things, and she'll pull up a series of like messages, like saved drafts of emails that clearly Luna was writing about fears and worries and nightmares and uncertainties about being a pilot. There's like a whole bunch of these that she never sent. That clearly she wasn't telling people. She wasn't mentioning to people, but like she was in the grip of something bad. I didn't know. She always came to me, and she was always a blank to me. She was my sister. I should have known something, but I didn't.
It's hard. mean, this is just hard, you know. You always think that you know someone, but you never do. It's always something they are hiding from you. We all have our secrets, burdens we bear because we think we have to do it alone.
I should have known. I should have
Yeah.
known.
Doesn't mean you are a bad sister or anything.
We have to find her. I have to find some way to make it up to her.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry about it. I will find your sister.
I think that's a good line to cut
Yeah,
on
yeah,
as the two of
yeah.
you seated there. Suriel, what are you doing?
Yes, I think that I want to have a chat with Ops,
Okay.
Natasha Zamora, because I'm curious about, you know, is it just the pilots and their carriers that the Halamos that go outside, or are there technical stuff you have to do inside, or is all that done remotely from in here?
So you go down, you'll track down Zamora. Like you can tell that she's a former pilot. You can see like her eyes have a little bit of the glow of the old psionic tech implants that she has there. Got, she's clearly aged out, got a beat up leather jacket on, and she said, "So what is it you need to know, Mr. Gath?"
Well, I simply want to understand, I suppose. Is Ops only about running the kind of launch thing, or is there stuff you have to maintain out there? I mean, the kind of protection for this place, is all generated by that big heart, or is there stuff out there?
We've got a set of, I mean, as you came in, you saw a set of the established protections that we have around, but additionally, we have other mechanisms present. We have the psychic division. Luna's sister oversees that. That sees to the psionic protections, the psychic defenses, as well as a lot of the spell tech is powered by that. The heart, you've seen it, it's basically the power source for what we do here. That living energy from that Halamaw remains and allows us to power everything we have here. We've got a bunch of divisions. I mean, there's sciences, both research and applied. We've got people that just study the Halamaws. We have people that handle disposal of the materials. That's a whole hazmat unit that's devoted to that.
So there would be people who go outside then.
Oh yeah, we have a whole set of sensor suites and spell tech relays that are all over the island that teams have to go out and provide regular maintenance. Anytime there's a battle, we have to go into that immediate area and repair everything that's been damaged.
Okay. And so you'd done a complete kind of repair job prior to today, or was there stuff left? I'm just trying to work out, was this unexpected? Did that mean that you were caught with stuff that wasn't repaired or still damaged?
You don't understand. It takes us a full 12 months to do a complete repair cycle on the island.
Oh, I see.
Like there is enough stuff spread over that there are always teams out working. And like we have to swap through those all the time. And of course,
So,
the second when an alert goes off, we have to scramble them back in.
So, calling up the picture that Ailing sent me of the sabotaged outside. So I said, so this would have been just, you hadn't got round to this.
She looks at it and she's like, that looks really unusual.
In what way? And I grasped for a key.
Well, I think actually the key you already have. I think from this, I think she will say, this is clearly somebody did this. I mean, this isn't natural
really?
damage. And she'll kind of look and she'll say, she'll pull up the geosat on the location. I'll have people go out and take a look at that.
Well, yeah, of course you'll need to do that, but
to see if there's more sabotage around in the area too.
Yeah, exactly. I would absolutely want your teams to do that. But in the meantime, does that geosat tell you who might have been around here in the recent past? Because I mean, if you're telling me that this is, is sabotage too strong a word?
No, I don't think sabotage is too strong a word. The problem is that we don't have tracking on individuals. The only tracking we have is the gross tracking on the animals. That's what it's tuned for. It's not tuned for persons.
Then okay, I see. So but you would log who came in and out and who's in the vicinity?
We knew the date. Yeah, I mean, at least if we can figure out that it's in the last few weeks, I can try and see who will be scheduled on the times for that.
Yeah, let's assume that it's in the last couple of weeks, maybe even the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Maybe, since Luna went missing, maybe, I don't know.
She will pull that up. Why don't you go ahead and make grasping for keys?
Yeah. Now, sadly, I've let the old darkness token slip a little bit, and I don't think there's anything going my way. So I will spend the one I have, having very rashly let those drift away. Oh, it's a 12 plus 1 is 13.
Okay. So let's look at that 13 there. Serial.
And I'm not going to try and tone that down. Let's
Oh no, that'd be way too many tokens to tone that down.
Yeah, I mean, you don't roll a 6 and just try to back off.
So you'll see her look and she goes, oh, that's not good. We need to scramble up there, you and I get a security team. And I think we're going to kind of cut from that to you up there with that.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Okay.
And she will look around the area and you see her go over and pulls out a keypad and punches in some buttons, and you'll see this chamber rise out of the ground, and it's kind of weird energy fields and plastic and things like that. And she goes, whew. And you will see that in this case is this sword that is glowing.
So if I put a clue down, a glowing sword.
She says this is a weapon that was recovered. We discovered that we don't know how it came. We found it outside the rift. Testings indicated that it could only be used by a human. So don't touch that. It can kill a Halamaw.
Can it now?
But it has no effect on rift monsters.
Okay. So how do you want me to phrase that clue? Because I think a glowing sword recovered from the rift doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, I think the deadly glowing sword, I think, is probably the best way to put that. She'll say, this is a secured location off the grid. There are only a few people that know about it. If someone was messing around here, I can't imagine that that's a coincidence. I've got to get a team. We'll move it back to main control and get it resecured.
That would be a very good idea.
I'm going to cut from you over to Egther. Egther, what are you up to?
I was thinking of kind of similar ideas, actually. I think if it's okay, I'll play into what Surreal was doing,
Sure.
because I think Egther wants to be alone for a bit.
Okay.
So he will ask for or bully his way into getting access to these work logs, and just sit with his feet up on a desk and just review them, because he wants to be alone for a bit and doing some not very taxing mental work is perfect for him.
Sure. So that does feel like we're going straight to kind of the grasp for keys. Why don't you roll?
Yeah, I will spend 2 tokens on that.
And I haven't forgotten the cost, Surreal.
Sorry?
I need to tell Alan I hadn't forgotten the cost.
And I get a 10.
10. So I think that you will go through the logs. You're like looking over the papers. You've got their algorithm to help you check things out and follow down these trails to try and figure out something. And there is a mention here at some point of contaminated rejuvenation material. The fluid that they use to heal up the Halamaw is this rejuvenation fluid. And apparently, a few months ago, a batch of the fluid got contaminated. They still don't know how, but apparently when it was used, it caused the Halamaws to hallucinate and lose control of their abilities. And they still don't know how it happened, because it seemed like in all ways that they could detect, it seemed like regular rejuvenation fluid, but there was something weird about it that they still haven't been able to figure out. Does that seem like a fair clue? The contaminated fluid?
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and put that on the list. I think that Cyril, you come back in and you will head down to talk to the doctor to maybe get a follow-up on that. And you walk down there, and as you come in, you see one of those pilots sit up, who's in one of those sort of oxygen protective tanks things, sits up, and they will look at you, Surreal, and will say, the Queen has seen you. and he's coming for you. You will be a delicious treat in what comes, Suriel Gath. We know. We have spoken to your other, and he has said that you are a sacrifice for us to make the breach whole. And then he falls off the bed, collapses, and you'll see the little monitor on the life sign. They go bing, and you look up and you see it says Despoteer.
Oh, neat. Oh, you are good at this. Okay.
That is where we're going to stop. We did our
Yes.
once around. We've got a bunch of clues and details out here. We're going to do our end of session XP, and then we'll do a quick stars and wishes. So let's start with Egther. Egther, did you hit your XP question?
Yeah, I even called it out when I did it.
Yeah,
Share a story of my people.
absolutely. So you mark an XP for that. Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Yeah, think I did.
Yeah, mark an XP for that. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
Ooh, yeah. I learned that in this conversation with Aisling, I think I learned that I care even less about division's rules than I thought I did.
Yeah, I like that. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
Yeah, I learned about Aisling
Okay, yeah.
a lot of things.
So
Yeah.
mark an XP for that. And you did get a key, so you don't need to mark ruin.
Mm-hmm.
Suriel, did you hit your XP trigger?
Oh, yes, I think I certainly infused Catalina with my miraculous glowing self.
That you did. So mark an XP for that. Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Probably both at the same time.
Yeah, seems fair. Mark an XP. Did you learn something about yourself?
I think I did. I think I learned that division matters more to me than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I previously I followed rules because I thought I could get around Bariska that way. But today it felt like I was following the rules because they're supposed to be followed.
Right, right. Mark an XP for that. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
Yeah, I think Ailing has legs.
Okay,
I think the kid might be worth keeping around.
okay. Mark an XP for that. Ailing, we didn't have you set an XP question. So do you think any of the ones that you have as choices there, uh, that's on B27,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
those questions? Did any of those fit for what you did today?
Hmm. Thinking I was maybe fooling myself into thinking I'm human,
Oh yeah,
denying my prophecy. I think I was doing this like,
yeah.
you know,
That's
very
perfect.
well.
Yeah, mark an XP for that.
Yeah.
Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Ah. Well, I think I try to express my humanity with, when talking to basically everyone.
Yeah, trying to stay in that mode. Yeah. So mark
Yeah.
an XP for that. Did you learn something important about yourself and or your impending ruin?
Well, I don't know. I didn't learn anything about impending ruin, but I
But
may have.
yeah,
I
anything
learned
about yourself?
something about myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What would you
think
say? Like how you react under pressure, or
yeah, and I'm like, I think that I'm not a bad agent at this point. At least I'm
yeah,
not, idiot like those two.
yes. So mark an XP for that. And did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
Hmm. Mean. Don't think so. They are not really open with me
Oh,
about.
I
like,
think you learned just how off the grid Egther could be. I think you
okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think you saw a lot about the side that you didn't expect. I mean, you said it earlier, you expected them to be like this, and they ended up being
Yeah,
like
yeah,
another way.
yeah,
So
yeah,
mark an XP for that.
yeah.
So I would like to do a quick stars and wishes, if you don't mind. Andish?
Yeah, big star to you for giving me a big monster to smash. That was that was a lot of fun. And star to Aisling, or to Aisling, to Tad, for being very creative about how to distract Egther, and also for this ambivalence about your own nature, I guess. That was very interesting. I really enjoyed that thing. And to Alan for having Suriel be a superior jerk. It's always great fun. Yeah.
Anything wishes wise?
Not really.
You
Well, I hope,
want another swing at another kaiju?
yeah. No, I've done that. I
Okay.
mean, I wouldn't mind, but I don't need it. But
Okay.
yeah, I hope Puckett can be here
Okay.
next session. And yeah, I think I want to see one of our characters really maybe either turn into a harbinger or really be on the edge of that, and like at least have to make the choice, or
Right.
be close to it.
That hitting all your ruin, that problem, that issue. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. Hitting all your conditions and having that go off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Alan.
Oops, yes. Start Tad. Lovely to play with you for the first time. It's been good fun. And you got to start simply for I can't even vote. Plenty of one-liners in there. That was great. And Anders, you really let Egther off the leash, despite everyone's best efforts. And Lowell, for you dropped Despotir in as a kind of throwaway early on, and then there he sits. Quality GMing that.
Awesome.
Wishes. I think I've got fictional positioning to mark quite a few of my route to power.
Okay.
I will rise again. So I will just want to kind of drop that in at some point next time, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try and see if we can get a little bit of downtime, catch breath, so that you can resolve that. That makes sense. Ted, great. You hit the ground running. That was great. I really did a super job of coming in on a game with a bunch of lore and a lot of systems. I thought you did a dynamite job. So I just want to give you a shout out for that. Any stars you want to give out?
Yeah. So yeah, as people said, Surreal for being just, just a jerk in the way that you can but in the way that you can bounce off, story wise. And yeah, actor for just, I'm not sure what the backstory of what exactly happened to him, because I haven't watched the previous sessions. I'm not really into listening to other people play.
Mm-hmm.
I just went through the mission briefing and stuff in the last session, and yeah, for just even from my position, it was this person is going off the leash and is just going crazy. I don't know why and what exactly his backstory is, but something happened to this person apparently. And yeah, to you for, I really like the interaction with the NPCs that Surreal and I had, with the the priestess and with the command lady.
Mhm.
Yeah, and as of wishes, I think I would like, like as it go. I don't, this is a running game, and this is my first session, so I don't really have any wishes.
Oh no, I
Just
think that's fair.
see how this
Absolutely.
goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just jumping into running trade and just watching.
Awesome. I also have a hard time watching AP videos. I do it from time to time, but I do. It is challenging. Most of what I watch is the end of my own previous session, so I remember what happened. So there we go. I'm going to stop the recording.